Hey guys, Nikita here and welcome to this lighting tutorial. And yeah, we will take our model that we've created like in the previous modeling tutorial. If you haven't watched it, check it out. Link in the description. If you just want to learn like how to create like this kind of lighting, then you also can just download this model and the plasticity file, link in the description. So let's start by firstly exporting it. So when we have created it, of course we need like a mesh to bring it like in Blender, Cinema4D or something. And yeah, like the exporter and plasticity is amazing. So we go here and export it. We just call it hairdryer, like lighting, and save as type OBJ. And now save. And now you see, yeah, I guess you will start with something like that, but this is like very low poly. But we need high poly, so we just need more details, you know, because we see like those edges here. So yeah, I just crank up the density to the maximum and you see it's like very smooth. And yeah, maybe it's a bit too much topology, but because we just render like this hairdryer, like it doesn't matter at all how much topology. Oh, and also, I think this is unchecked by default. And you see we have like a lot on this big surfaces. We have like details, but like on this fillets, you see we have like too much details and we don't need so much. So for that, when we crank up the density, we also have like, oh, and you start also with triangles. And you see also here, it's just too much. Like for game assets or something, like you need trees, but like Cinema4D and all that stuff, n-gons is fine, because then you can also like unwrap it. Like, of course, we don't need it to unwrap it. But yeah, so go to the min width and yeah, you will also start somewhere very low and just bring that value a little bit down and see like how much topology you get here. You see, we just get a little bit more topology, but only on this fillet. So maybe even a little bit less. So yeah, that looks, look, this, this looks so clean and perfect. So we can just press OK and then we can import it. Perfect. And now we have like this, yeah, OBJ file here. We can bring it into Cinema4D, just drag it in. Okay. And yeah, delete the default material. And I will just rotate it 90 degrees and just bring it up a little bit. But you see, it looks absolutely beautiful and absolutely clean. So let's start with the lighting to achieve this result. And yeah, it's pretty simple. So yeah, first of all, I also opened the reference from Pinterest. You can also find it like in the description, but that was the reference. And guys, it's super important that you use references because yeah, then you can just and recreate it as exactly as possible, because then you will just be forced to, yeah, because this way is just, yeah, the best way to learn in my opinion. So let me make this just as a square and here renderer, Octane renderer, and perfect. So we can start like our render and this is what we have. And first of all, I want to create like the camera. So I just create an Octane camera, go into it, and make something very high focal length, so something 150 millimeters, because then you see it just looks much more, yeah, flat and it's not so distorted. So this is exactly what we want. Perfect. And so we can navigate in the viewport, but the render still stays the same. I just go here to cameras, perspective. I go here middle mouse click and just to any viewport. This one and just cameras perspective. So now you see like we can maneuver like in the viewport. And first of all, like let's bring an HDRI environment and make it just black, because yeah, we will create like our lighting all on our own here. And also because yeah, that's like the kind of look we are going, and we will create like the materials and all that stuff. So let's start by bringing in an HDRI environment. And you see already it's black and this is fine. And maybe we can just, let's start with the material, just bring like any HDRI environment. So yeah, exactly. You see, we just have like a little bit of lighting and let's just start with the materials. And you see it's extremely simple. It's just like a metallic rough material and like some, yeah, glossy plastics or something. So I will create a metallic material and apply it to all of those parts here. And if I don't want to see it like black here, I just press NQ and then yeah, like the materials are disabled in the viewport. So that looks fine. And now let's just go into the material and just give it like very, very little roughness, or like a lot of roughness. And yeah, we can adjust it later. And also what we can do, we can give like a little bit of an octane noise into the bump. And if we bring it into the bump, so we give it like a little bit of texture. And you see already what we get here, but we need a projection node and this to box. So yeah, everything looks more cleaner. And then just a transform mode. And like if we right click solo node, we see what's happening. And we will just make it like very, very small. So you have like this kind of grain. So like the resolution is very low here on the reference, but I guess it is something like that. So let's disable it and just zoom in a little bit. And you see we have like, yeah, like this grain, but I just still want to make it a little bit slower. But now you see it's too crazy rough because yeah, it's like because of this bump. So we just have to add also an octane gradient between it. So something like that. And in the octane gradient, so white is like 1, black is like 0. So we don't want like the bump so strong. So we just go to the white and make it like very, very dark. And you see what we are getting. So we still need even less, or you see, you just get like this kind of, yeah, texture, but it's, you see, it's still too strong. So really bring this value. Yeah, you see like that looks really, really cool, but we can even bring it even a little bit less. So really you see just 3% and maybe now do a little bit less roughness. So it's a little bit more shiny, but yeah, we can adjust it with the lighting. So perfect. Now we can go to the Octane Sky Attack and just bring the power to the 0. So now when we want to create the lighting from a reference, yeah, it's very simple process. So just look at what you see, where the reflections are, and there obviously will be the light. So I don't know if you see my mouse, but like you have like here a light source. So it will be like on the front, on the right, some light. Then you see also here on the top, you have a light, right? So it's not just black and going like into the background. You see also like here, this very sharp highlight here on the bottom. Man, I really hope you see my mouse, but you have like a little bit of light here. So you see, otherwise it would be just black and go into the background. We don't want it. And also we have like one main light source here and also like on the left and all that stuff. So yeah, pretty simple. And always when you ask yourself how to create lighting, just look where the lights are and highlights and just, yeah, rebuild it, you know. So let's select like any object here and just create like an Octane targeted area light. And this Octane targeted area light, we just bring, yeah, you see already we are getting already like this highlight, but we wanted to bring it a little bit more up. And yeah, definitely make it not so powerful. You see, we don't need much light. And what we could do now also is we don't need it, I think, so much, but we can just do it just to add like, yeah, in the texture here, a gradient and make it 2D V. So you see, we get here on the top here like this gradient, you know, because otherwise it's a little bit too sharp. And here it looks also like very smooth. So I will just add on both sides just a black one. You see, that looks much, much cleaner and even more smoother. So always work with gradients in the lighting. Okay, so I think maybe we can make it a little bit higher. Perfect. So this is like our first light. Now let's just control click and duplicate it and adjust it here. And Also go to the light tags here and just visibility and just general visibility 0. So, and here also like those here. So it's not like seen by the camera or like intersecting or something. And now we want to create like this light here. So we have to make it like really big. And also you see, because we have like our gradient, and our gradient, if you remember, goes from top to bottom. So we have just rotated 90 degrees. So it's now from left to right, and that will just look a little bit smoother here. And yeah, maybe adjust like the gradient a little bit. So yeah, I will delete this black point, and so our gradient is just smoother, you see? So exactly what we have here. So it's just going from white, here light, to black, no light here on the right side. And this light we can make just a little bit brighter. Oh, and also like we have to go to our camera Octane tag here and go to camera imager and enable camera imager and just make like this highlight compression just to the top. So you see like this, it's just a little bit of effect, but we will just, yeah, so our lights are not overblowing here. So we can make it even, yeah, you see, and now already everything is coming together, and just, yeah, adjust it a little bit and yeah, make the light maybe even a little bit brighter. But yeah, again, we are just making it like, we are just, yeah, create like the general lighting. So we're not doing it perfectly right now, because then at the end we will just adjust everything. And so everything plays together. And let's also create like just a very simple white glossy material and just add it here to our parts. So here, this and this. So we have like this white thing here, and just go into it and make the diffuse like very white. So this is fine. Perfect. So you see now our completely left side is completely dark. So again, we can just control click and just bring, yeah, that looks already also cool. And we will just bring this light to the other side and find like this lighting position that we want. And here again, guys, watch out. You see here our light is kind of in the right position, but we have like this very hard edge. So that just means, so one side is just, yeah, reflecting here on the glossy material. Maybe we can give this glossy material just a little bit of roughness, then it's maybe not so strong. Yeah, but we also have to rotate it 180 degrees because, yes, you guessed it right, because of our gradient. And you see now, yeah, we don't have like this unbeautiful reflections. And perfect. So that looks really fine. You see like all of our left is now brightened up. And maybe we can just make it a little bit less strong in the intensity, and just go to the other ones and just make those other ones a little bit stronger. You see, so we just adjust everything. Perfect. And now we can again just take this one light source and just bring it on the top. Because you see, otherwise, you know, like always when you have black background and like especially this kind of like, yeah, metallic chrome object, you have to really emphasize the outline, like the whole edge. Because look, like otherwise here on the top, like it's just black and it's just going into the background, you see? So it's just not looking good and it's not popping, you know? So to get those highlights here on the top, we just need to bring a light source here on the top. So you see, but also just bring it much more behind. And yeah, so we have to find like the right position. Exactly. So you see something like that. And again, maybe just play around with the gradient. You see, this is not the right one direction. So we just here make it invert gradient and bam, you see that looks so clean. And I like that a lot. And maybe make that a little bit bigger. And you see guys, it's exactly as here in the reference. So here this light, we have it here like this edge here, and it's just really just thinking where the light source is and just place it and really just playing around. And you know, because also the more you do it, the more you just have like the feeling and understanding like where the different light sources should be. Perfect. And also now you see here again, like it's just black on the bottom, but we have like a very sharp highlight here. So what I will do is just again control click and create a new light, disable all of those other lights. So we can right now only focus here on this hard edge. And look, that looks fine. And again, just, yeah, find the right position. So cool, something like that. Let's bring everything again. Perfect. You see, so all of our highlights now are like emphasizing the form, and maybe one very, very, weak light source here on the right. So you see, we just get also here a very, very tiny highlight. So again, just control click, isolate this light and make this high and just bring it to the right somewhere. So yeah, maybe something like that. So you see, we have like here some highlights. And yeah, that should work fine. Maybe play or test if you can do something with the gradient. So let's bring everything again into life. Perfect. You see, like just that light here. So let me show you. Here, you see like this light source we just created. Like otherwise, we don't have a highlight, but we definitely want a highlight. So everything is just popping. So bam, you really have a highlight, you know, like an outline. And maybe make this light just a little bit less strong. So it's really just a tiny, tiny bit. And guys, you see how far, I think I have a model that I've created before without like this bottom piece here. But yeah, it's like the same if you just create it. So perfect. And maybe you see like here, like our plastic or like our glossy materials just too dark. So again, let's just control click a light source, and this light source we will isolate, and we will just, yeah, you see, just find a nice spot for our glossy here. Perfect. You see, it's just almost lighting only our plastic material. And now we can also just bump up a little bit like of the brightness. And again, let's see how everything works together. And yeah, we can just brighten it up a little bit. And perfect. And maybe here this light source on the left is a little bit too strong. So for that, I will just disable it and enable everything just one by one, so I can find it. So perfect. This is like this light here. And here I just want, yeah, I like this one, this lighting here even more. Perfect. So something like that. And we also have like here nice gradient. And maybe really just make it a little bit less strong. So let's bring everything back together. Yeah, you see, this is absolutely perfect. And I like that even more a little bit. So yeah, you see how easy that is. And if you want to learn how to create really photorealistic 3D work for your product rendering, and you want to learn how to get clients, just go on my website, press on coaching, and then I'm offering like 2 different packages with different master classes and courses and like community and like weekly group coaching calls, or a one-on-one coaching where I teach you exactly that, how to create high quality 3D work and how to get high paying clients. So check that out. And we are almost done. So what most people are doing is just render that out, but we have to do one little additional step. Is just like to do some color adjustments like in Photoshop, because Octane Render has a little bit too less contrast. So let's render that out. And we don't need like a lot of different passes, because yeah, it's pretty simple here, but look like so fast and so beautiful. But so let's just render it out and just spend 2 more minutes in Photoshop. Oh, and when you render it, just one more thing. So go to your Octane settings here and save, and just alpha channel, and yeah, also do it like here. So you just get like a transparent background, and now we can render it. Amazing. So welcome to Photoshop, and let's just bring in here our image. And if you create like a black layer and look, like you see, it's just like 2K, but you see we have like a little bit of this, grain or texture, and that is because of the bump. So that looks amazing. So what we can do now is, maybe you can just play a little bit with the background, or you just merge it with Control E, and now right click, convert to smart object. And now if you go to filter and camera raw filter, we can just add a little bit more punch. So temperature, for that kind of shot, I like it to give a little bit, a tiny bit like of a cooler temperature. So don't go too much, then it gets like blue, but just to color balance everything, because you see it's like this chromatic look. And I think that looks just better. And now we just need a little bit more of contrast. So those whites getting a little bit more white and blacks getting a little bit black, and just the highlights. So like especially those places are not too overblown, but right here it's a little bit overblown. So we can just bring it down a little bit, or just adjust the lighting, and also just bring a little bit here the texture up. So we just get a little bit more detail. And also what I like to add to all of my images, if you go to effects, vignette we don't need, but I use always vignette if I don't have a black background, but just a little bit of grain, you see, because otherwise, it looks already pretty good because of the bump. Without the bump, that would look so much more boring. But to give it a little bit more of photorealism, we just add a little bit of grain, so it's not so CG eye perfect. So you see it's, just 5 seconds, and that looks amazing. So I hope you learned something. So leave a like and subscribe if you don't want to miss those tutorials. And let me know in the feedbacks what else you want to see, and check out my coaching program, and see you in the next one. Bye.